Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video. And in today's video, we're taking a look at the special characters and we're making a tier list here today. So today we are talking about the support characters that are out on OPTC Global and their effectiveness and like the best characters that you want to be looking for if you ever pick up a support ticket or if a support banner does pop up, depending on what characters are boosted and stuff like that. Because supports are becoming a lot more prevalent, especially in OPTC Global. Like Japan, they've been prevalent for a very long time, but especially in Global, we're going to talk about some of the ones that we have, or all the ones that we have on Global. Mainly the ones that are purely specific for actual banners and tickets, and what ones you want to be looking out for when you do end up picking them up. So there are a couple on JP that aren't on Global, which I have removed from this tier list, but we are going to start from down the bottom here at Sengoku. So the first character we are going to talk about is, apparently not. Apparently we're going to be talking about Judge. Why is Judge there? Judge. Huh? What? Okay, for some reason it brings up Judge when you click on Sengoku, so let me just quickly search up Sengoku here. And then we can start down the bottom there on the Sengoku character. Alright, here we go. So Sengoku, the Fatherly Buddha. This guy's actually pretty good. He's very, very good support. Unfortunately, he only attaches to Trafalgar Law. But the big reason this guy is actually really, really good is because he goes on Luffy very, very well. So once per adventure, when the supported character uses a damage dealing or health cutting special, he changes all orbs on all characters in the supported character's orb, and then adds 0.7 to the chain multiplier for one turn. So the reason this support character was amazing at the time was because he could go on Trafalgar Law and more specifically Luffy. So the reason this was great was because with Luffy's switch ability, you can give them a quick or a dex orb, and then you could use their special to get a 2.5 times orb boost and do damage to the enemy. Once you do damage from the special, you are going to change all your orbs into either quick or dex, which Luffy makes matching, and then you get an extra 0.7 to the chain multiplier. So it was very, very good at the time, but Luffy has kind of dropped off a lot, unfortunately. But it is still very usable, so we are going to stick Sengoku in the A tier, because he's very, very good, and he's very, very usable, but he's not amazing. Actually, something I forgot to mention before we begin. This is just my personal opinion. So this is from playing the game for quite a while now. What has worked for me? Which one of these support characters I actually use quite a lot, and which ones kind of just sort of sit in the box and collect dust. So this isn't the be all or the end all, but as a sort of veteran player, I just want to give you guys a rough idea of what characters you want to be looking for. The next character is this carrot, Bath Time Wonderland. This carrot is amazing, especially for Garp's challenge. Heavenly Demon 2, this carrot actually is just an absolute monster. She goes on Nami, Wanda, or Chiffon, and at level 5, she gives 8% of her character's base attack, HP, and recovery to the supported attack, to the supported character. And then if she hits a perfect, she reduces enemies' defense by 2 turns. So every time that character hits a perfect, this carrot is basically going to remove 2 turns of defense up. On Garp's challenge, Heavenly Demon 2, this is an absolute god tier ability. Absolute god tier. And because Nami, there's so many good Namis in the game, this carrot can be used extensively for like long pieces of content like forests and for Garp's challenges. So for that particular reason, I'm actually going to stick this carrot up in the S tier. Mainly because she can go on a lot of characters that you guys will be running like majority of the time, being Nami. And that ability to remove defense up for 2 turns is just incredibly strong. The next character we're going to talk about is Conus. Now, Conus is very similar to Carrot, but unfortunately, she's just not as good as Carrot. She still goes on Nami, but she also goes on Sanji and Usopp, which is pretty good. Because Sanji has a lot more characters in the game, she can see a lot more viability. She also goes on Ganfor, AZ of Wiper. You're never going to really use that. But she also goes on Nami and Usopp. Now, what she does is she adds 15% of her base attack to the supported character's base attack, which is very, very good. And then she does an extra... the character that she's on will do an extra 1.5 times damage to Enel. So if you're ever versing an Enel unit, this Conus is just going to help out that unit hitting harder. But she's also going to add the same effect as Carrot. Of when the character hits a perfect, she's going to reduce enemies' defense by 1 turn. So not as good as Carrot in terms of the 2 turns of defense removal. But the difference here is that she gives that 1.5 to Enel, which you're probably not going to see too much. But like when it does work, like it's going to work. She's going to be really, really good for when we get the Garbs challenge against Enel. She's just going to give extra damage, I guess. But I actually used her in my Heavenly Demon 2 run with the Roger team with the whole glitch. So she's actually really, really good. And she is actually going to see quite a bit of play because she's on some very, very good named units. So we're going to put her in the A tier. The reason I'm putting her in A tier and not S tier is because she's just not as good as Carrot for what she does. But she is very, very good. On to the next unit, we're going to talk about Brulee. Unfortunately, we're sort of talking about like the best units first. So it's going to be a bit of a lackluster end to the video, but it is what it is. So Brulee is actually incredible. I'm gonna break the bad news to you right now. She is phenomenal. She goes on some of the best characters in the game. She goes on Luffy, Nami, Chopper, Peckham's, Carrot, and Katakuri. Like, look at that lineup. All of these characters have very, very good like legends in the game, or very, very good characters in the game. So you're gonna see a lot of play with this particularly support unit. Once per adventure, when you reach the final stage, she changes block orbs into matching orbs, changes supported characters orb into a matching orb, and then she's going to reduce the cooldown of that supported character by 2 turns and recovers 2000 HP. This part here, where she changes block orbs into matching orbs, is the big reason why you want her. It's actually insane. Like, when you reach the final stage, if they give you block orbs, you can just slap her on a Luffy, slap her on a Nami, slap her on a Carrot, Peckham's, Katakuri, any of those very, very good units, and you can just get a full board of matching orbs if they have block orb manipulation. So for that, she's going straight up into the S tier. Not even an argument there. She's probably the best support in the game. If you ask me, I would say that she is the best support. But there are a lot of very, very good supports in the game, and you could make arguments for stuff like this Carrot and some of the other units we're going to talk about too. The next unit we're going to talk about is Wanda. So this Wanda actually came out around the time that what's his name did Carrot, Legend Carrot came out. She was sort of built to like go onto Legend Carrot, and you're about to see why. Again, Nami and like Sanji and Luffy just have so many good supports, but she goes on Carrot. Once per adventure, when the supported character uses their special, she randomizes all orbs, including block orbs, other than quick recovery and TND orbs, and then locks them for 1 turn. So when the character uses a special, so obviously when you use Carrot special, you can get a full orb of block orb removal. And then Carrot, being the 2 times orb booster that she is, also makes these colors matching. So this unit on Carrot is absolutely exceptional. I mean, like, if you're ever running Sul on Carrot, like, this Wanda is always a go-to, like, all the time. But she also does go on Nami, which is very, very good. So you could actually just get a, like, block orb removal. But unfortunately, she just randomizes all orbs. She doesn't make them matching. With Carrot, Carrot increases the chance of landing on your own orbs. So that's why she works so damn well with Sul on Carrot. But unfortunately, just because she doesn't make them matching means that she does fall off just a little bit. So I am going to put her in the A tier. She is not just sort of like the pinnacle of supports, but she is still very, very good. As I mentioned, there are still a lot of good Namis. Time Skip Nami, for example, one of the best rare recruits in the entire game. You've got a lot of Legend Namis as well, so she can see a lot of play. On to the next unit now we're going to talk about is Strausen. So Strausen was kind of cool when he first came out, but dropped off very, very quickly. Unfortunately, the downside to Strausen is he only attaches to Lin, but when you do attach him to Lin, he reduces the crew's increased damage taken by 5 turns, and then recovers 4,500 healing at the end of 4,500 HP at the end of turn for 3 turns. So it's when a character uses a special. I always found that when I was using Strausen, I really only used him for like Treasure Map Big Bomb, and that was about it. The healing mechanic is nice, but with the new Limit Break upgrade, you don't really even need that increased damage taken like upgrade. So I'm going to drop him into the D tier. So he was very, very cool when he first came out, but nowadays he's just whatever. Like, he's just like whatever. Next unit, Koro Shiro. Koro Shiro, the young swordsman teacher. Note to everyone watching this too, by the way, that watches the anime. This symbol here, keep an eye out for this symbol. I'm just saying. It's shown in Wano. This guy here is an absolute monster of a support unit. An incredible support unit. He does only attach to Roronoa Zoro, though. This is his big downside. But if you guys are keeping up, JP's about to get a new Zoro legend. And Zoro being one of the strongest characters in the anime, he is just going to get better and better with time. So once per adventure, when the supported character uses a damage dealing or health cutting special, he's going to reduce enemies' increased damage and resilience buff for 4 turns, and then adds 0.7 to the chain multiplier. This ability right here, the defense, increased defense and resilience buff, is amazing, and by 4 turns is exceptional. So what you can actually do with this unit is you can actually attach him to Clash Zoro, and Clash Zoro, the free-to-play unit, is then going to remove at least 4 turns of every defensive buff in the game, including resilience, which is insane. Ridiculous. Plus, you get 0.7 to the multiplier as well, which is just actually phenomenal. There's nothing bad about that whatsoever. It's just an extra chain buff. And for stuff like Kazuna as well, he can like help you out a lot, especially because you can use him on like a sugar team, where you can use that 0.7 chain multiplier as well. So for that reason, I'm actually going to stick Koro Shiro straight into the S tier. He's exceptional. He's really, really good for something like the Kid Forest and the Hawkins Forest. Anywhere you need to get that defense removal as well, he's going to be very, very good. He also can attach to characters stuff like Luffy Zoro, who just sees so much play as a sub. So very, very good support on a very, very good character in the anime. The next character is Mistems. I love this support so much, and the fact that Mistems doesn't have any representation in the game is actually criminal. That character is so cool in the anime. What he does is he attaches to Luffy, Sanji, Carrot, and Pedro, so a lot of very, very good characters. And once per adventure, when the enemy inflicts you with paralysis or special rewind, he's going to reduce the paralysis on that character only by 3 turns, and then reduce the special cooldown of the supported character by 3 turns, and reduces damage taken by 75% for 1 turn. So this combination here of special rewinds and then giving the character 3 turns of cooldown is ridiculously overpowered. For characters like Sabo Mask, for characters like the new Luffy that came out with the what's he called? With the Law Batch, who rolls your specials forward, it's very, very strong. Any character that can roll the specials forward, especially someone like Carrot as well, Sulong Carrot, is going to help you guys out a lot. I know Sulong Carrot already has the crewmate ability, but when she's a captain, she does not. So this Mistems can be very, very good. The downside is the paralysis part. If they trigger paralysis before the special bind on whatever the run is, he is going to proc, and you are going to miss out on that. But in saying that, he does give you a 75% damage reduction for 1 turn, which is very, very good. But because of that little hiccup, I am only going to put him in the A tier. For the same kind of reason as Wanda, like, if it was like 3 turns of paralysis on the entire crew, it would have been insanely good, like insanely busted. Very similar to how Wanda is kind of like, she randomizes block rolls, she doesn't make them matching. He kind of falls under that same sort of bracket in terms of not being right there for S tier. The next character is Charlotte Oven. Charlotte Oven, I can't really remember what Charlotte Oven does, actually. He goes on to Lin Lin, Katakuri, Cracker, Daifuku, and Smoothie, and once per adventure, when the supported character uses a special, changes all orbs on Powerhouse characters into Strength, and then boosts a color affinity by 1.3 for 1 turns for Powerhouse units. Now, that's actually pretty good. If you're running a leader like V2 Katakuri that actually makes Strength orbs matching, and you can actually have like a lot of good color affinity buffs, this guy could work really, really well. So I feel like he would have been amazing when V2 Katakuri was running Riot. If V2 Katakuri ever gets a 6+ in the future, this guy is actually going to be like a go-to support for that unit there. So in saying that though, Powerhouses, no one really runs Powerhouses too much anymore, and those characters, making a full board of Strength orbs could backfire. But in saying that as well, he can go on the Sweet Generals, and the Sweet Generals will be a Strength super type, who will also be a Powerhouse. So he could see a rise, but for now, I'm going to put him in B tier just because he just doesn't see that much play. Doesn't mean he's terribly bad, it just means that he doesn't see all that much play. On to the next unit now, we have Orlumbus. Orlumbus, he's based around the Driven characters, so straight up I'm not going to say he's very, very good. But once per adventure, when the supported character uses their special, he changes Recovery, TND, Empty, and Bomb orbs on Driven characters only. That's his biggest downside. Driven characters only. And then locks their orbs for 1 turn. So if you ever do get the Recovery, TND, Empty, or Bomb orb manipulation and you're running a Driven team, he's going to be awesome. As he's going to like give you a 4-board orbs and lock them. But the downside to him is he doesn't do anything with block orbs. And because of that, I'm actually going to slide him into the C tier. He's got a very, very good support. The downside is just no one runs Driven. Like, Driven just don't exist anymore. And for that reason, he has to sit and see. If Driven sees a rise in the future, he will be very, very good. Who's he support to? Hurricane, Cavendish, Idio, Barto, Leo, and Sai. So all of those guys are sort of Driven-based characters, but Driven has just never been that top tier sort of like class. And because of that, I just have to stick him around the middle because he does have a good support, but you're just never going to use it. The next unit is Dagama, another Dressrosa character who goes on to Elizabello, Jinjiao, Sai, Ideo, and Haryujin. He adds 20% of his character's attack. 20% is massive. That's pretty big. And then boosts the supported character by 1.5 against Barto. And when their character hits a perfect, he reduces the end of turn damage and percent cut duration by 5 turns. End of turn damage and percent cut. That doesn't mean the threshold, does it? No. So that just means like end of turn damage. Okay, so unfortunately, end of turn damage like doesn't really like affect you too much, but the 20% is quite nice. Downside to this guy is there are no very, very good units of these. Like, no one uses this unit. I think Elizabello is probably the only unit you would use, but you're only using him for speed farming, so you never have to really worry about percent damage cut. So for that, like, he's going straight into E. Like, that 20% is really, really nice, but like, who's running those units? Like, if you're running those units, let me know in the comment section below. Like, I'd love to know, but I can't see anyone ever using this Dagama, like, ever. Alright, next we have Tesuru. Tesuru is a bit of a funny one. It's kind of good because like there are no other good Tesurus in the game. But she only attaches to Garp and Sengoku, who do have a lot of very, very good units. And basically what she does is once per adventure, when the supported character uses a special, she's going to cut the HP of enemies by 7% for 3 turns at the end of the turn. So at the end of the turn, you are going to get a 7% HP cut. It's not really great, but in saying that, you can use her as like a kill mechanic through stuff like Resilience and like if the enemy, yeah, basically just Resilience now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's not great. There's lots of ways around Resilience, but at the same time, you could still use it. So I'll put her in the middle here because it's not a great support. Very similar to Lumbus. Like Lumbus has got a really good support, but you're not going to be using it too much. Where Tesuru, she's not that great of a support, but you possibly can use it for a little bit of content. So coming down to the picky end of the list, next we have Iceberg. So Iceberg is going to be able to attach onto Frankie only. Once per adventure, if you're inflicted with Despair or Silence, he will reduce the Despair or Silence on the supported character by 3 turns. Oh, that sucks. So he's only going to remove it if Frankie has it, basically. And then he reduces the special cooldown by 2 turns. It's not amazing, to be honest, purely because it's only on Frankie. Say that was, like, he removes 3 turns of Despair or 3 turns of Special Bind completely for the crew. That would be GOAT. Like, that would be so damn good. I would, like, run Frankie's just to use this support. Getting the 3 turns of special cooldown, 2 turns of special cooldowns is quite nice as well. But it's not amazing. In saying that, though, if you are running your Frankie and you are getting, like, Despaired, like, your other Frankie's still going to be Despaired, though. So you still need to bring Despair removal, you know. So I'm going to slap him into the D tier. There's no really, like, amazing Frankies that remove Special Bind that I can think of off the top of my head. But if there ever are, he could see some play. And that 2 turns of special cooldown could be useful if we do get a Frankie that does, like, anything, like, with, like, special rewind or, like, anything like that. And, like, rotates, like, character specials forwards. But that Iceberg, I don't know. I wouldn't say he's A tier. I wouldn't say he's bad as Dagama. I feel like you could use him. But, like, just, I don't see why you really would. Alright, so the next unit I'm going to talk about is this Sabo. I don't want to save Markano for the last one, purely just for one reason. This Sabo, he's okay. He goes on to characters like Luffy, Koala, and Hack. So the whole going on to Luffy thing is very, very good. Luffy just has some of the best supports in the entire game. Once per adventure, when the supported character uses their special, he boosts the base attack of that character by 1.5. Unfortunately for this Sabo, it is only for that character, which kind of sucks. But in saying that, it can get around sort of like the concept of if you use an attack buff, they have an interrupt and stuff like that. The downside is with characters like Shanks Crew and stuff rocking around, it's not going to be that effective. Plus, you've got other characters that can just do this better, basically. But if you guys know the Kiro support on Vivi Rebecca, you still will be able to use this here and there. So I'm going to put him in the C tier, basically because you can use it. I just don't understand why you would really want to use it, I guess. So he's not bad, but he's just not good, if that makes sense. So it is what it is. He does go on Luffy, though, so like there are a lot of very, very good Luffys, obviously being the main character of the anime. So you could find a use for him here and there. Now, the final character we're going to talk about is Makino. This Makino here. Now, straight up, I'm going to put her in E tier. The reason I'm going to do that is because she is purely just stats. She reduces damage received from side characters by 5% and adds 9% of all of her stats to the character's stats. Why the hell they have done that to a support unit is beyond me. But the reason I saved her last is because there is another Makino that isn't on this list that I do want to talk about. This one here, the Sai Makino, proprietor of a relaxed tavern. Now, the reason I want to talk about this Makino is because I am a huge Shanks simp. I love Shanks so much. Now, this Makino goes on Shanks, Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo, and Yasop. Now, she came out when Shanks' crew first debuted, and you actually got her if you pulled Shanks' crew on debut. So, what she does is, once per adventure, when the enemy inflicts you with chain multiply limit or blindness, reduces the chain multiply limit and blindness duration by 3 turns. Now, I use this ability so goddamn much. So much. And for that particular reason, and for the fact that I am biased and I'm a huge Shanks sim, I would put her up here in S tier. This is the Sai one I'm talking about, by the way. Not the Int one, the Sai one. The Int one's down here. Oh, the Int one's gone now. Okay, cool. That's mad. But the Sai one would sit somewhere up here. Where did she go? She's just gone. What? Why? Alright, cool. Well, Makino disappeared. But the Sai one, this one here, I would put her in the S tier purely for this blindness ability. Now, I hate this blindness ability. But saying that, I hate bringing characters that have to remove it. So, I always like to have a character that has a crewmate ability or has like something built into their kit that can remove it for me. Now, 3 turns isn't that much, but if it's like 5 turns, you can easily work around 2 turns. But if it's like 5 turns where you can't see, and you have to carry that into the other rooms, it can just suck so goddamn much. It can also be really effective if they give you like 10 turns and you have a character that it removes it by 5 turns. For example, like Ben Beckman and Shanks, their treasure map unit, they remove, I think, like 5 turns is their sailor. Then you can use this ability here to remove 8 turns of it, and then that way, if it's a 10 turn, you can remove it that way. So she's very, very good. But the Int one just sucks. She'd be down here in F, this F tier, to be honest. She would just actually stay there. I don't know where she went, though. She sort of just vanished. But there you guys go. That was my supported characters support tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know if you guys want to see any other tier lists as well. I just wanted to get this one out while Treasure Map's going on. I know a lot of people are grinding pretty heavily, and there's not a lot of like other content that people are focusing on. So I thought I'd put this one out for you guys, just so you guys can keep an eye out for basically this batch of supports. These top 3 are the top 3 that you really want to pull, especially this Brulee. This Brulee is amazing. This Conus is very, very good as well. She's going to see a lot of play moving forward as well. But they're the ones you want to be looking for. So I think that's going to wrap that one up today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to belt that like button. And if you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content I post, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lights!